Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
The world's just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. How can we possibly have the slightest idea what to expect? With the best intentions, some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions.
Dr. Malcolm, here to share a few campfire stories with my uncle.
You can convince the Washington Post and the Skeptical Inquirer of whatever you want. But I was there, I know what happened, and so do you.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Hello, welcome to the January issue of Jurassic Minutes, where we discuss recent toy, movie and franchise news for the Jurassic series. It's a new year, and we've got so much coming down the line. It's going to be a great 2022, but in the meantime, I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And we are here to discuss a lot of toy news, a lot of news for the Dominion itself, so we'll get to that in a moment. Dave, before we get to that, what's been coming in toy prop purchases over the Christmas break? What'd Santa bring?
January hasn't just been crazy for Jurassic news and everything. It's also been crazy on my bank account. I kind of went on a little spending spree here. I was actually able to get both on a really good deal. I got the Lost World Allosaurus, the battle ravaged one with the pieces. I was able to actually find a complete version.
Nice.
For only like $35. Then I was able to find the 2009 Bull T-Rex, the one that Hasbro redid with in a plastic case, but with the head and posable legs. Mm-hmm. So I was able to actually get that one also on a good deal. And then AC, the Amber Collection Ellie Sattler, actually went on sale on Target.com, so I was able to get that for a good deal.
Yep.
I think they're actually currently for like only $15 on Target right now. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine, and we'll get to the news later on with what's happening in the Amber Collection. I can see a lot of people sourcing, trying to find figures they missed out on, or completing that line.
And then finally, I grabbed the Amber Collection Owen Grady as well.
Mm-hmm. Have you've already got Blue and the Raptors, or you only got the humans? I asked this question last time.
I actually didn't have almost any of the humans, so I actually did need to pick up some more of the humans.
Yep.
I think the only human figure that I had picked up was Muldoon and Ray Arnold.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Nice. Getting the collection completed before it ends. I'd imagine the that 2009 Bull T-Rex wouldn't be a hard one to find just because it's newer, and they probably would have made a lot more of them.
Actually, that one was actually a fairly rare figure, even for back in this day, and these days goes for insane amounts. I was actually able to get that one, I think, around 100 or so. Mm-hmm. And they go for like 200, 250 nowadays just because they're so rare.
Yep. Wow. I think last time we were on before Christmas in December, I mentioned the free Explorer Breakout T-Rex playsets that I got, so won't go into them. Love them. Fantastic. I went to my Kmart last week and there was 4 of the Super Colossal Toros on clearance. So they just turned up at stores and went straight to clearance. So picked one of them up. There was another Spinosaur as well on clearance. I nearly got it. I held back from getting that. Just so another fan could get it in their collection if they hadn't already got it, just because it's so limited here at retail. And probably the first or second week in January, I got an email from Amazon saying, we haven't forgotten about your order, we just don't know where we're getting it from for my Ultimate Visual History that I still don't have. So I'm going to give them another week, I think, and then I'm just going to have to go eBay or something. I don't want to miss the boat on getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good one. You don't want to miss out on that one.
Yeah, yep. And that might sway me from ordering stuff for Amazon again, because the Transformer Breakout T-Rex crossover set got cancelled as well, so they're 0 for 2 at the moment on delivering expectations and figures to me. So, but is that all for new toys?
You want me to spend more?
Oh, you don't have to. Just so we've got something to talk about in February, apart from.
Well, I think we have plenty.
Before getting the news too, over at Jurassic-Pedia on Facebook, the Jurassic recaps are still continuing in the build-up for Dominion, and they've been going on over the holidays, featuring many scenes from The Lost World. So if you haven't caught up on any of them yet, head over to the Pedia Facebook page and start that hype for Dominion. And it's funny, I typed this before we started getting the TV spots as well, so it's marketing's definitely about to head off for Dominion, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff in a little bit.
Can I buy you a beer?
Did you bring them, or did we gotta go somewhere?
Just briefly touching at the start of the toy news, New York Toy Fair, Nuremberg, a few others have all been cancelled this year again for Feb, which normally showcases the upcoming toys for the next season, or the next year, the first quarter anyway. So sadly that's not happening, but as we'll get to in a minute, Mattel's definitely announcing a lot of stuff on Twitter and through Jurassic Collect as well. So we are still getting that news, some good, some bad. So to kick us off, we're going to talk Amber Collection. No, we're going to talk the Hammond Collection, a new line, which the way it's worded in the promotional stuff is saying it's replacing Amber Collection, which sadly sounds like Amber Collection is ending.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
I personally don't understand it. I mean, as far as I could tell, Amber Collection, maybe not so much the humans, but the dinosaurs definitely sold well. The sculpts were good, the quality was good, the articulation was good. There was almost no downside to the Amber Collection except for the fact that they just couldn't do large theropods, being the scale that it was, being a 6-inch scale line. And I think that's the reasoning behind the Hammond Collection now, is that they want to do like T-Rex and Giganotosaurus and all these larger figures that would have been just too big to do with Amber Collection.
But why then wouldn't you continue the Legacy line? We already had Grant, Ellie, I think we had Hammond in there as well, and Muldoon in that initial Legacy line, and it's going to be around that scale as well, that 3.5 inch or whatever it is scale.
I can't figure that out, and as far as I can tell, other collectors are kind of confused about that too, because they don't see any reason why they would continue the Legacy line if they're now basically going to take what Legacy line is doing and just add a little bit better quality paint and a little bit more articulation and up the price $10. And I mean, it's just going to flat out kill the Legacy line now.
Mm. Yeah, well, they dropped a couple of sweeteners that some fans have been talking all about, and not Amber Collection, but we got a new Baryonyx figure here and a Parasaurolophus as well, which are got some good looking paint in that one. But coming in Target.com, that's the other thing too. It seems like it's going to be Target Online exclusive or Target exclusive as well, which again has people upset, especially international people. At coming in at $20 as well, which isn't a very high price point. The two animals we got so far look good, but I fear the humans are going to be a big step down from Amber Collection, both in size and detail. But oh yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I gotta say they do look very good. The Baryonyx I absolutely love. The Parasaurolophus I absolutely love. The only thing that's kind of funky about the Parasaurolophus, and they don't show the photos here, but I believe on the Beyond the Gates video they showed a frontal view of the head, and it's got like that kind of bloated, puffy cheek look, like it's like it's got a mouthful of plants or something.
I thought it was interesting to actually put an articulated jaw on it too, like the end of the mouth. The mouth opens on it.
That is extremely interesting, and they didn't show off the raptor, but they don't have pictures of Blue yet, or no, it was the Jurassic Park 1 raptor, but I imagine Blue's probably going to come as well. Where it looks great. I think they had it in the Beyond the Gauge video. They showed it interacting with the Parasaurolophus figure. And I gotta say, I mean, it looks good. It's very good. I'm just sad that the 6-inch scale is disappearing.
Yeah.
Because I thought they had a lot going for it.
And there's still... just focusing on Jurassic Park, we still need a Gennaro. We still need a Woo. Like, there's still figures there they could be doing.
I've heard that Mattel is probably going to not be selling human figures on their own anymore because they pegged warmed heavily during Fallen Kingdom. And they'll only be double packing them with dinosaurs from now on. So if we want like basic scale Roland Tembo, it's going to have to come in a 2-pack now. You're going to have to buy Roland Tembo with the T-Rex.
It's just a shame, and I was going to bring this up later when we start getting to the Dominion TV spots we've got. The franchise is an international... You have a look at the box office for the last 2 films, and there's been more money brought into the franchise from international viewers and viewings at the cinema box office than just US. Yet Mattel and the toy makers are only really focusing on the US. If they'd got those figures internationally... we never got any of that stuff here, so they never had a chance to peg warm. Instead of us having to try and find someone in the States to order for, or go online and pay even more for figures, and Mattel's not getting that extra money, so it's just a shame.
I believe that actually is the reason why Franklin ended up never coming out, was just because the human figures weren't moving. And, I mean... To be fair, Mattel made 2 Owen figures. I mean, those figures are still shelf-warming around me, and I have no idea why Mattel would have made that many figures. I mean, I know he's kind of like the sellable actor, but it just didn't seem to make sense to make that many figures of that character.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've only got the Claire from Fallen Kingdom, which come in the gyrosphere, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that because I wanted a bigger gyrosphere to interact with the big Hasbro Indominus. But I also got the Maisie only because there was someone in our local group visiting America, and as you're saying, Pegworm went to the end cap of a row, and there would have been 50 Maisies sitting there just on 20 pegs, just lots and lots and lots of Maisies sitting there, and just why?
Like, I've heard that happen, but I also know that around me, Maisie was considered particularly rare.
Yep.
And I only ever saw her on the peg once, and that's when I picked that one up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think my biggest issue of this new Hammond collection is, right, we've got 2 dinosaurs now. We're probably going to have, here comes our Grant, here comes our Ellie, here comes our Ian, and maybe a Hammond. Obviously, the Hammond collection's got to have a Hammond in it as well, but we're going to go back and we're going to go start redoing the same characters again.
Well, we already know that there's going to be a Ian Malcolm with a flare again, and so yeah, like you said, at this point they're just triple dipping.
Yeah. And
honestly, the basic figures, the articulation is good enough for me. It's not like I'm looking for bendy scale or bendy articulation here. I get the shots with when I'm doing dioramas that I want to get, and I just can't really justify buying all these characters all over again, you know?
Yeah, I think they've given us what we got with the Amber collection so far. There's enough characters there to fill out sort of Jurassic and other little dioramas here and there. I won't be I'll be staying clear of this just out of principle, even though my dislike of it's not going to stop it. But I can just see they're going to do 2 or 3 humans, a couple of raptors again. They're not going to distribute them properly, and they'll decide to pull the plug, just like they've done the legacy stuff. And again, you'll have half a collection of figures that don't really go in anywhere else. So that's a shame. But I'm definitely going to stay clear of this.
I mean, I'm going to go after the Baryonyx and the Parasaurolophus. Apparently, within like an hour of them being on the Target website, they completely sold out. So
Yeah.
People are excited. I can't justify buying the human figures again. I'll go after the dinosaurs I don't already have. But the human figures, unless they come out with something new, I'm gonna skip for now.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I should say that, yeah, I'm definitely, the human figures I'm not going to skip, but this Baryonyx is going to replace me Fallen Kingdom 1 for sure.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that, so, yeah. Also, we're starting to see some figures from Dominion starting to hit or get leaked as well. The basic figures beginning to appear in Brazil. We've got the Pyroraptor, the Atrociraptor, the Pteranodon, and the Giganotus. Allosaurus. Maybe by the time Dominion gets here, I'll get that word sorted out. But it's here we go. The basic figures. This reminds me of Fallen Kingdom with all the Owens and Claires in the in the boxes. The shampoo bottle action figures, I'd like to call them. But it looks like they've got a little bit of articulation as well. But I suppose. How do we talk about this without discussing spoilers? We got.
Well, I mean, like for example, the Atrociraptor. It looks like they did what Mattel did was just take a regular like Jurassic World raptor and kind of rework the head a bit. There's really almost nothing that changes about it except for the head and the colors, which we've already seen on some of the promotional material that has come out already.
Yeah, we're looking at Collect Jurassic's Facebook page, and there's a lot of comments with people saying they're going to get and repaint themselves.
And the Pteranodon again looks kind of basic. It's got the looks like a repaint of the Jurassic Park 3 one that they did, the basic figure. And then we got the Pyroraptor here, which spoiler alert, ew.
And that's the moulding, not the fact that it's got feathers. You're not ewing for feathers. You're just ewing with how it looks. Especially that brown. It just doesn't come across good in toy form.
I imagine, from what I can tell, the coloration is final, but the sculpt is not, because the leaked promo figures or promo images I've seen have full wings, but this has kind of got the monkey arm look, where it's just got some kind of limp feathers hanging down behind the hands, and it kind of just looks like an orangutan.
And we commented or speculated back when we first heard of their Pyroraptor being in Dominion, whether they'd go for a moulded plastic or if they'd actually go for a stuck-on carpet or fur to try and mimic what the feathers would look like. And in this basic figure, they've gone for the moulded feathers, which haven't really come across that well. But again, just being the basic entry-level figures.
Mm-hmm. From what I've heard, there was design changes between this and what we're going to get in the movie, so we will probably get the properly feathered one in the movie. But for now, the toys are going to look like this, which is honestly pretty disappointing.
And it's going to be a shame too, because if they're making Dominion stuff look like this, then we're going to have to wait for your Hammond collection line to do Dominion figures. I suppose that's what I didn't mention earlier with the Hammond collection line, if that's going to be Jurassic era Ellie, Grant and Malcolm, or if they're going to do a Dominion bearded version for them as well. Not Ellie, of course, but for Ian and Grant, if they're going to have a bearded version, if they have such a high or big part in the film.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Also, we've got our first look of the Giganotosaurus in hand too, which the sculpt I'm liking. Not really liking all the green-grey colour on it, but again, if this is just the basic figure, then time for some
it actually looks.
Customizing.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty good for a basic figure. I think I actually might pick this one up if I don't find the mainline version in store first.
Yep.
Hey, where did you find this?
It walks under my seat.
Are they heavy?
Yeah.
Then they're expensive. Put them back.
Moving on, we've got a Legacy Series Pachycephalosaurus, another one in a real light colour with a dark green on its back. There's a few few figures coming out. It looks like it's got some sort of DNA card or slot that goes in its back, which may activate sound or something. Not quite sure how that works, but
from what I've heard, that's the new placement for the scan codes. Is they're gonna stick it
rightio.
as a pop-out thing
instead of having the tattoo on the bottom of the foot or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a few other figures come out in Legacy line. There's a Raptor and some other things too. I've only got the Pachy pictured here just because with another wave, another lot of repaints. There's not a lot of new stuff in there. Not really anything I wanted to talk about.
The Raptor, I am honestly really disappointed in because they did not even bother to really paint the head even. I mean, it's like bare bones. Like, come on, Mattel, do better. You can do better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We're here. We want to buy these figures, and we will buy multiples of each figures. But just put a little bit more effort into it, please. Anything else on any of the figures we've been talking about? I think next couple of months when some of this stuff starts hitting shelves and start watching some reviews and make up our minds what we actually want to collect and what we can just leave to the store shelves and the kids.
Allosaurus. Carnivore? Huh? No. Herbivore, late Cretaceous. You see that distinctive dome skull? 9 inches of solid bone. Now careful. See, the Pachy's neck attaches at the bottom of its skull instead of the back of its head as with reptiles. But when it lowers its head, its neck lines up directly with its backbone, which is perfect for absorbing impact.
Funko Games announced in December that they've got a new board game coming titled The Legacy of Isla Nublar. The game's up on Kickstarter, or coming up on Kickstarter in March, so it's not out yet. We'll report back when that hits, but some pretty nice box art for it. Featuring both Jurassic Park and Jurassic World art on there, with the volcano in the background, which, hell, it's a dinosaur piece, so of course it's got to have a volcano, but we've got the gates, we've got the Tyrannosaur in the rotunda, and then Owen and the raptors and the boys in the gyrosphere as well, so...
Yeah, it does actually look pretty good. I like the kind of 1950s B-movie lettering on here. It's kind of got the... It's kind of fun.
Yeah. In saying that too, this is a licensed piece. Why isn't a licensed T-Rex in the rotunda? That jaw looks pretty narrow. But anyway, that's just picking. So, text on the box here, gripping journey of ambition and adventure on Nublar. So, hopefully once March gets here and they start releasing some more information about it, we've got lots of different photos here. Got some game pieces, T-Rex breakout, raptors in the kitchen, brachiosaurs, all sort of one-coloured pieces of plastic. So,
brachiosaur one's cute.
The Jurassic World map of Nublar as your game board, unfortunately. Looks like it's got a little run of comics with it too. The one here on top, Legacy Adventures, it's called. Come aboard Hammond's Dream, and it's got Hammond looking like he's in a aircraft, sleeping, dreaming about the blueprints for the visitor centre, and some of the dinosaurs' DNA set, so that might be an interesting little thing to have with it as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a backstory. So yeah, no official pricing or anything for the board game yet, but I'll be looking forward to March to see how much it's going to be, and might jump on it from a Kickstarter. Up next, Tops. I thought they were re-releasing the Jurassic Park collector cards and the collection folder, but going off the Collect Jurassic post here with a picture of the folder. Coming in spring, they're releasing an official book commemorating the beloved collectibles with cover art styled after the actual vintage card packaging, as well as cards inside. So it seems like it's going to be more almost like a visual history for the collector cards.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured it as well. It seems that they're going to actually have the cards, but rather the pictures of the cards, which is kind of a little disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought initially, like, it's quite easy to go online, eBay, and buy the full set of the collector cards. They made a hell of a lot of them. So to be remaking them, I sort of head scratcher, but now it looks like we're actually getting a book to look back on it. So again, no details, price or anything yet, coming out in spring. So we've got a few months to wait for that as well. Something to pick up, Dave?
I'm not going to pick it up, but I definitely know people who probably will want to.
I was not going to cut this out of the red sheet because I don't think we're too keen on it when the news of Primal Ops come out end of last year, but it pretty much just got dumped. The beta version of it, or a version anyway, of limited fashion on iOS, got released for Jurassic World Primal Ops. There's a video here on Jurassic Outpost with a bit of gameplay. Sort of a little bit of a throwback to those earlier games where you're just sort of walking through a ruined Indian camp, it looks like. Mm-hmm. Shooting people, which even though you're darting them, they do disappear, which tells me you've just killed someone. Did you get a chance to watch the trailer or the gameplay video?
I have not. I'm not really a big gamer, so this wasn't an interest for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't checked out the app store to see how much it costs. I'm sure there's in-app purchases and everything else. So it's just shame that someone's put all their effort into this and not into a air quotes proper Jurassic game that the fans are still wanting. One little thing we missed on the toy news: the new Fresh and Devour T-Rex has been revealed with quite an interesting paint job.
Yeah, it's like almost like they took the Thrasher T-Rex from the Kenner toy line and put it on Rexy. And I gotta say, I really, really want now.
Well,
anybody
that's it.
Who knows me knows I love the Thrasher T-Rex, and I want it now.
Mm. And they've been sort of getting so close before with different paint schemes for the Tyrannosaurs. That last one, I'll say the last one, but it was probably the 8th one that came out, that sort of started getting into that darker greys and a little bit of green on it as well, with that spotting on it, but wasn't quite there. And now for Tyrannosaur 11, they've finally given us a Thrasher, and again they've put the effort in, so we're going to purchase it. It looks fantastic. Oh, yeah. Yep. I just hope I get to see it on shelves over here again.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like it's always the distribution that kind of gets you on these. Is that, like, do I have to be reduced to pay shipping, or can I just go ahead and buy it in the store?
Yep. Yep, and then not waiting too long to have completely missed out.
Can you fly one of those?
Maybe. As long as the sail's not torn.
Well, let's take it.
We're going to move into some Dominion and movie news now. Kicking off first, they've been starting to release some merchandise for Dominion. Most of it featuring the drive-in theatre sequence that we've got from the prelude opening bit of footage we've got. I dare say it's a lunchbox. Oh, we've got a backpack and a couple of bags here with the Tyrannosaur and the drive-in in the back. And a helicopter overhead, even though it looks more like Jurassic World 1 and not the game helicopter we see in the trailer. So, also seen people post up, I think it's those rotating lollipops with the Tyrannosaur and drive-in sort of handle you hang on to as well. So they seem to be leaning a lot into the drive-in thing. I suppose it being the only footage being released so far, they can get that stuff out already.
Yeah. From what I can tell, the drive-in scene seems to be heavily being marketed for this phase 1 or whatever they're doing with the marketing right now.
Mm-hmm. I think we speculated a while too that whether or not that was just going to be the opening of the film, just to show here the animals are in the wild and causing issues. But I wonder if it's going to be a bit later and it's going to be a bit more extended than what we actually see or what we've seen. And then the over Christmas, over the holidays, Empire and some other film sites have been starting to reveal promotional stills for Dominion, featuring Claire, Owen, and a couple of animals as well. First up, we got, I think I've got these in order, we got Claire in the swamp, and I jumped on. I know a lot of people, others jumped on as well, of Ace Ventura doing his hippopotamus thing. But I'll let you pronounce the dinosaur that's in the background there that everyone's thinking it is anyway.
Yes, the Therizinosaurus. This one is like, imagine Wolverine as a dinosaur.
Yet a herbivore too, not a carnivore. So it's sort of
it's
weird. They give the plant eaters knives for fingers.
That deters things from eating them.
Yeah. And of course the speculation ran wild was, well, Claire's in this swamp with all the floating, not lilies, but floating grasses and that around her and it in the background. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a good place to hide or what's going to happen there, but definitely got a bit of just being able to see some shots finally of what we're getting in Dominion. Next up, we got one of Owen doing his animal wrangler or raptor bro thing with Parasol Office. Again, speculation ran bound. He's got a rope in one hand with it looped around its neck, whether there's a winch, a vehicle behind him or something, or a team of people trying to capture the animal. We sort of know from leaks and that sort of thing that he seems to be out there trying to capture animals on the loose to get them back in containment or whatever's going to happen there.
Yeah. This one, I think that it's going to have to do something with the other one that was revealed where Owen is with Kayla, the new helicopter pilot character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's probably part of the same scene because it looks like they're part of the same set where they're both in the some kind of cold tundra area.
Yeah. It's a theme that we're going to get into some other stuff we're going to talk about in a minute, just the winter, that cold wilderness, which is going to be a welcome change for the franchise, and I can't wait to see. We know they're up there filming, I think it was British Columbia or just off Canada there somewhere anyway, so yeah, so we got that one. Then Empire brought out the one of Owen on the bike with the blurry Atrociraptor in the background. Everyone's complaining about the CG. When obviously it's in motion, and they've just sort of maybe take the next film still where it isn't as blurry. But
as I've said to others, is it bad that the thing I like most about the picture here of Owen and the Atrociraptor is the costuming? It's kind of got that tan field jacket looking thing with like Roland Tenbo's bush jacket.
Yeah, definitely. And we know they shot a fair bit of stuff in Malta, so we know this is part of that raptor chase we're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
As you said before, Owen and Kayla. There was a leak that come out. I think it's been pretty much disbanded now. That Kayla's actually going to be Kelly Malcolm. This is the older version, and I know a lot of people on Twitter jumped at that, going, "Well, Vanessa Chester's older now, so why not have her as the older Kelly?"
And she still acts too, so it's not like she doesn't. I mean, she's been in other things that I've seen, so it's not like she doesn't act. Still, it's not like she's retired like Ariana Richards, you know?
Yeah, it's not a period piece. We don't need the actors. They're not going to recast Sam Neill because he's old. We need an older Sam Neill. Sam Neill's older now. That's how progression of time works. So I'm glad that was debunked. I hope that's not what's going to happen there, because I'd really be disappointed if they're making such a big fuss about bringing legacy characters back and then not doing that. Colin got on Twitter and released a image of a Parasol Office as well, which had the fandom mixed opinions on this. I'm going to say an animatronic head. I hope it's an animatronic head and not just CG. I think it doesn't say here, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed to be an animatronic.
I can't remember because, I mean, it looks like it's probably CG or at least a maquette head, but Colin Trevorrow's joking around on Twitter telling people, yeah, we just got real dinosaurs this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk amongst the fandom with the animal designs and this sort of thing, and that's not a Jurassic this and that's not a Jurassic that. I think we just need to wait until the film comes out to complain about it, whether they're actual in-gen animals or other animals. So, but anything else on those images we've got? I think they've just been a little bit of a tempting bit of gap filler before we get to whatever the Super Bowl trailer is going to be.
I think we're good with those, honestly.
Yep. And then in the last couple of weeks, last fortnight really, there's been some tie-in marketing for the Winter Olympics. We've got 2 shorts already. I'm guessing with the Olympics just around the corner, we'll probably get one more out of that. But first up, we had US Olympic skier Michaela Schifrin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Encountering Blue and Rexy on the slopes. And then we got another one of US Olympic ice skater Nathan Chen having a herd of parasol officers run up to him in the snow as he's doing his thing on an icy lake. And you can say that next one because I can't say that at all. What the next?
Yeah, so it's been teased that it seems that next week, I think right before the Olympics start, we're going to be getting Quetzalcoatlus with we don't know who with yet, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Again, as I mentioned earlier, international franchise, we're only going to feature Olympic skiers. That's fine. I didn't even have those names here. You filled them in because you obviously know who they were. I didn't do any research on who they actually were, but it just, especially when the downhill skier, downhill I think might be cross country, the skier anyway, encounters Blue and Rexy. I don't know if it's just younger fans or what it is, but people actually thinking it's the volcanic winter of Nublar after the island's been evacuated or something, and just some comments on Twitter thinking that why are we back on Nublar in the snow? And I did love someone commented, well, it's the other side of the island that we haven't seen yet. So.
Like, no. They are fully in our world now. That's kind of like the whole point of these tie-in shorts, I guess you call them, is that the whole theme of Dominion is how dinosaurs are now integrating into our world.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people have been kind of complaining about the one with the Rexy and Blue because they're saying Rexy looks green, and it has nothing to do with Rexy's model. It is 100% the filters. They've been funky filtering all of the movies, and they funky filtered these commercials, and you can just tell that they did something that made turn Rexy green. And if you and I went ahead and played around with the colors, and now, I mean, you can see it on our Instagram, where there's nothing wrong with the model. It's all the coloring, and all I did was kind of like remove the filters, and honestly, she practically looks like the animatronic. I gotta say, I was really impressed with how they look. They just ruin it with filters.
Mm. Yeah, it does look fantastic, and we might post an image on the Facebook page as well, just how much better it looks. And obviously, they're not going to be spending more money to make new CG models of the creatures or the animals for. They're going to use the actual images they've got. Especially with the ice skater, how a lot of the paras running through the snow. There isn't a blizzard, but there's a lot of that sort of wind-swept snow, just to sort of hide the animals a little bit as well. But
the other interesting thing is that there seems to be a mixed herd within the Parasaurolophus in that skating thing, because if you look at some of the ones when they're running, you can see that there's the classic Lost World style Parasaurolophus among the herd, and the leader of the herd kind of has this kind of like slate gray coloring with like a whitish blue stripes and a bluish kind of horn. The striping and the patterning almost reminds me of the African okapi. It looks really cool.
Yep.
When you actually sit down and look at these pictures of these animals, they look so beautiful, so well done.
And I hope for the welfare of the animals that these aren't escapees from Lockwood's Manor. That these are actual someone else has created, because in the couple of years before they were free, they were running around Nublar in the tropics and just dumped those animals from the tropics straight into the winter tundra. I don't think many would be surviving. Owen wouldn't have to go there and catch them; they'd be just dropping dead. So,
I mean, I will say for the skating one, you can easily tell that the guy is in front of a CGI environment, and it's kind of like painfully obvious.
Yeah,
especially in the still shot where he slowly walks up to the Parasaurolophus in the lead, and you can see all around him how obviously CGI the background is. Like they probably got him on a little kiddie pool that they froze over, and around him is a green screen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, I don't think they spent a lot of money on it. They would have used a lot of the assets they already had and just plonked him in there. Because you can see a lot of the edging around his head and that too, around the hair. We're just trying to get him to match into the CG. But it's doing what it needed to do, because people are talking about it. People are starting to get hyped for Dominion. It's starting to get us ready for what might be next. As you said, there's been hinted at a third one coming out this next week, or this week as this has been released. Super Bowl, the possible trailer there. I'm still disappointed we didn't get something new for Thanksgiving. Like even a teaser there, and then the full trailer for Super Bowl.
Well, I guess the public releasing of the prologue was the teaser.
Yeah.
And we're going to be getting this full trailer at Super Bowl.
I haven't gone back and looked at the Jurassic World of Fallen Kingdom ones. Was it a full 2-minute trailer, or was it just a 30-second spot?
I'm fairly sure it was a full trailer in Super Bowl.
Rightio. Because I'm just worried that they're going to just chop up what we've already seen of Rexy at the drive-in and just have a 30-second spot and that's it.
I know, that's what I'm afraid they're going to do too. I'm like, can we please just give us a full trailer? The movie is coming out June 10th. They put that at the end of the spots already. Like, they're committed to the movie's coming out June 10th.
Well, yeah, and that's something else I was going to discuss, but it is that they've got that date on the marketing now, so there's still some films that are being pushed because of variants and all sorts of other things.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this doesn't get pushed. I think now that they're starting to get all the marketing in, they've got that date on it. Hopefully it's locked in. It's not going to be moved again.
I mean, at this point, if they do push it back, they might as well just wait till next June and release it as the 30th anniversary of Jurassic World.
Yeah, because the two next Mission Impossibles have been pushed. I'm just waiting to see what happens with Top Gun Maverick. If that gets pushed again, and just don't release it. It's pushed back 3 years now, whatever it's been. So it's.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's been like. I mean, I remember the trailers for it coming out, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared from the airwaves. I'm like, wait, did they release it? Is it not coming out anymore?
Yeah, and that's should say too, that's Paramount and not so much Universal. So, although I don't know if Top Gun's Universal or not, it might be Paramount as well. But I know Mission Impossible and it's Paramount, so that's different studio. We'll see what happens. The new Transformers has been pushed back a year as well, but the weird thing with that is they've still got Wave 1 figures coming out in April, and then they're not doing anything again until Wave 2 in August, so you're going to have movie characters out there for a film that's still a year away. So if we start getting Owen and other figures in the Mattel toy line and they push it back, it's going to be weird as well, so hopefully that's not going to happen.
Well, one thing I heard is that Jurassic World, the toy line, the Dino Escape one, was actually originally intended to be a movie line, and that's why we got such good paint and sculpts with that line. And then it got pushed back, and they released it as Dino Escape instead of as a movie line, simply because they had no choice.
Yeah.
They already had it geared up and ready to go.
Yeah, time will tell.
Greetings, my dudes. Kenji is here, so let the party commence. Put this in my room. So what's your deal?
Okay, let's go.
I didn't mention at the start, but we're going to talk a little bit about Camp Cretaceous Season 4 before, one, I forget about what I've watched, and two, Season 5 possibly coming in March, so another lead into Dominion there. So, have you gone back and watched any episodes since the initial viewing? I haven't.
I haven't either. I really should. I haven't even rewatched Season 3 yet, and I should.
Yeah. Yeah. It had some good bits. I mean, the highlight definitely was the animals. The Tyrannosaur couple we had, I shouldn't say couple, family we had there.
Mm-hmm.
Speculation, guessing whether or not, well, obviously they were taken from Sauna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they said that actually.
Yeah, at what time point? Obviously the Spinosaur was here as well, so that's been taken at some point as well, post 2001. Just how long Manticorp's been on the island. And I think we mentioned last time, just that huge island, we get that one shot of a map, and we got this little research facility in the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
Manticorp, I don't know, they've got all this hologram technology and robots, I don't know why they're worrying about dinosaurs. If they're doing pharmaceuticals and that, like we know, sort of bias and hints at the novels, and they want animals, unless, or I know the animals are being used to fight and test certain things as well, so I think we said that in speculation when we first seen the Brads, and then the saber-toothed tiger, whether or not the animals are going to be just robots or not. But yeah, the size of the biomes, some of them don't seem to make a lot of sense. Spanning massive areas like the Spinosaur one, yet as soon as the kids turn around to run away from something, they just suddenly run into a wall. And stuff like that.
And the worst part is how, like, they seem to be, like, reflective or like, projecting a fake sky. So it kind of reminds me of that biome from King Kong versus Godzilla.
Mm. Yeah, I just watched that the other day. Yeah, it's just the Spinosaur's not throwing trees at the at the wall, but it does make you wonder why animals aren't just walking into walls all the time or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, fish will do it. Obviously, a dinosaur is going to do it.
Mm. Yep. And we mentioned before with Nublar being gone, the islands being gone, they wanted to go to the mainland, and I don't know why it couldn't have just been a deserted part of the Costa Rican coast somewhere that had this research facility on it. Why it had to be another island when we don't really get the island featured at all, because everyone's taken part inside these biomes, so why the island?
I heard one reasoning was that originally this was supposed to be Isla Sorna, and that Manticorp had, in the absence of InGen post-Jurassic World, kind of taken up residence on Isla Sorna now that nobody was really watching it. And they ended up having to change that because of the pushback of Jurassic World of Dominion, and they came up with Manticorp Island instead.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's sort of a shame. Like, a lot of fans wanted to be Sorna, and just because it seems to have been completely removed from the franchise at this point. Yeah, I know there's a lot of discussion before when we had the trailer too about the Brads, the robotic dog cats. I didn't mind.
I hate them.
Oh, you hate them?
I mean, the regular Brads I can kind of justify, but the Brad X that look like giant robo lizards, no, I hate them.
Yeah, I didn't. It's sort of an issue when you got a big bad or something. The Brad's coming in and being able to just the AI in them being able to pretty much make you turn to dust or whatever it did. And then all of a sudden, well, we just knock them on the head with golf clubs and we can get away from them. And then them manufacturing the Brad X's themselves and just making a bigger bad for the sake of having a bigger bad when your main villain is just a whinging tech geek in a control room, which I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but it just seemed to make the world so much smaller when that's the exact same person that was blackmailing Sammy as well.
I mean, like you put in the notes here, where were they hiding this island? Because this is no small island.
No. And it's got to be within a boat trip of Nublar. Just
yeah. And I think you also mentioned in the notes here, did nobody notice that the CEO of Manticorp was also a primary investor in Jurassic World? Like, they're obviously competing companies.
Yeah. We sort of talked, we've had the question ever since season 1, if Kenji's family's so rich, why has his father not either launched the expedition to find out the fate of his son or rescue anything like that? And to have his father turn up at the end of the last episode, seemingly the head of Manticorp, but just, I'm sure somewhere someone in development or the team is fist pumping, but it raises a whole heap of new questions.
Like, did nobody check his LinkedIn page?
But then it makes sense if Kenji's father's been to Nublar, if they're then poaching animals from Nublar after the Jurassic World incident, but before the volcano hit.
He's not only been to Nublar, he has a full penthouse there. It's not like he was just a passing visitor doing corporate espionage. I mean, he was on the board of investors or something like that. I think Kenji mentions it.
Yeah, someone's not doing the checks. Claire, blame Claire.
Not checking the name on the checks.
Yeah, I know some people have just said, well, the island's quarantined that, but yeah, so Sauna, and they've managed to get the Spinosaur, a couple of Tyrannosaurs, all these animals. The Kent. Well, I'm assuming the Kentosaurus is from Sauna as well, even though I don't think that's on InGen's list. Is it?
I don't know. For all we know, Masrani's been dumping side projects on Sauna at this point.
Yeah.
They did with the Corythosaurus and the Spinosaurus, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting first time watch. I don't think I need to go back and watch it again. And going to season 5, again I'll watch it so we can discuss it. But it's not my thing, and that's perfectly fine. I've still been trying to collect some of the 2-pack figures of the humans and their offsiders, just because they're good looking figures and represent the characters in the cartoon pretty well. But I'm just a shame we left Nublar, really.
Honestly, I think they played out Nublar to as far as they could.
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed that they left. I'm just disappointed of where they went to.
Yep. Yeah. And I suppose it's not... I wonder how much of it was changed last minute because of Dominion being moved. Like we discussed when season 1 came out, Netflix normally only does a 3-season show for the most part. So the fact that we got a 4th season as well.
I heard that they usually approve series within sets of 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So what they probably did was they made the first 3 seasons, Netflix approved it, and then Netflix ordered 3 more seasons, or at least 2 more seasons. Because I heard season 5 might be the last, and then Dominion's going to come out. But they could honestly, with the pace they make the seasons, put 2 more seasons out between now and June.
Yeah, it's just sort of weird because season 3 ended with them. Season 4 ended with them leaving the island and pretty much being up to date with the Fallen Kingdom timeline, even though that's still 5 years ago from where we are now in the Dominion timeline. So they've still got some time to catch up in season 5 to get to Dominion. I don't think they've spent a year on Manticorp Island, which we don't even have a name for it. Yeah. I mean, all the the human characterizations in the cartoon. That still was fine. Brooklyn and Kenji having a bit of a romance there. Yeah, they're teenagers. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't.
Honestly, we should be thankful that they're not doing more. I mean, like you said, they're teenagers.
Yeah. Especially being alone on the island, there's no one to say no.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it is March. I wonder if we'll get a Super Bowl trailer for, or shortly after Super Bowl, we'll get a short for Camp Cretaceous as well. Although they normally leave that to about a month out, so it might be mid-Feb before we get something for that.
Yeah.
Some sort of teaser anyway of what's coming for season 5 and how or if it's going to tie into Dominion.
I'm not sure how much more they're going to tie into Dominion in the future episodes, but from what I've heard, the control chips are what are the tie-in for right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. That Biosyn will be controlling their dinosaurs via the chips.
So I wonder if that's... It'll be interesting if they stole that technology from Manticorp. Or if something happens to Manticorp, Kenji's father, and then Biosyn take over.
I've been kind of wondering if Manticorp is a dummy corporation for Biosyn. That Biosyn is actually, or Manticorp is actually Biosyn, just under a fake name.
Well, we don't really know much about them than what Sammy sort of disposed in season 2, whenever it was, or 3. It might be just Kenji's father with all his wealth, evil guy in the control room in the facility, and a couple other people, and that's it. It might not be a huge operation or a huge company, especially if you want to do this stuff secret. The scale of the construction required to build all this would be a different story, and probably not as easy to hide or keep off the books. But
I don't know. I mean, we know that Hammond was able to hide the fact that he had cloned dinosaurs and was building an entire park around them.
Yeah.
By claiming he was building a tropical resort on an offshore island. Yeah. So, I mean, we know it can be done.
Yeah. But it just seems...
I mean, that was 1993, and now everything is computerized, and it's a lot harder to hide that shit.
Surveillance satellites.
Not just surveillance, but, I mean, you can track every single step of your Amazon order now.
Yeah.
Back in 1993, you simply waited 6 to 8 weeks for it to show up.
Yep. Now, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense if Manticorp is just an offshoot or a shell branch of Biosyn that's working on this control chip technology.
Mm-hmm.
Which then makes me wonder how Kenji's father ties in. If he's Dodson's twin brother, not twin brother, but evil brother or whatever.
His evil twin.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough speculation on that. Anything else to discuss for Camp Cretaceous? I didn't want to go through and do a full episode by episode breakdown and all that. I didn't have the willpower to go through and do all that again.
We're already at an hour on this episode.
Yeah.
We could, if we start breaking down each episode, we'll be here for 3 more hours.
Yeah. I did like some of the work. I can only describe her as a female scientist was doing with the animal sounds, and that, even though that sort of just seemed to be Chekhov's gun for Darius to then use the iPad to lure animals around at the end, make vocalizations and that. So.
Yeah, that was a cool character. I did like her character.
And sort of similar, if we're going to do taking stuff from novels and that sort of stuff, that was sort of what the character of Grant was meant to be in Jurassic Park 3, just that Robin, even though she's not really Robin Crusoe, but she is living on the island, on a island, studying the animals seemingly on her own, doing her own research, just for a bigger company where Grant probably would have been just doing it for himself.
Honestly, it reminded me exactly of Alan Grant in the original planned Jurassic Park 3 script, even right down to jotting down notes with a sandwich in her mouth. Honestly, I imagine Grant doing that.
Jog my memory, he was on the island studying the animals and had to deviate from that when a kids washed up on the island or something, didn't they? Or was that something?
I think
from a
so,
different
yeah.
script? So yeah, they've pretty much taken that and put that right here. Which everything old's new again.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right, that'll do us for the January minutes. We'll be back next month to discuss what we get with the Dominion trailer. I'm sure there's going to be some more toys and figures coming out. We might spend some more money and buy some more stuff as well, and hopefully my visual history book gets here.
Hopefully, yeah.
But Dave, if that's it, we'll get out of here for the month and come back for February to discuss more on the Jurassic franchise.
Sounds good to me.
All right, lovely.